The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
Oh, man. Trevor Beggs, man. We're back. What do you want to talk about today, man?
All right, here's the question of the day. Should the Canucks re-sign Nikita Zadorov and trade Filip Hronek?
Man, oh, man. Are you smoking that horse tranquilizer or what, man? Locked On Canucks.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
A happy Friday, and welcome to another episode of Locked On Canucks. My name is Trevor Beggs, co-host of Locked On Canucks, and also a part-time credentialed media member for Daily Hive Vancouver. Before we dive into this episode of Locked On Canucks, we got to thank you for tuning in, because guess what is your Canucks every damn day? We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, and if you haven't done so already, make sure you go subscribe or follow us on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. And you want to help us find other people out there? Leave us a 5-star review if you listen to podcasts. Okay, let's go. This is the last day to enter our ticket contest, so you got to do two things: subscribe to the YouTube channel or leave us a 5-star review wherever you listen to podcasts. And then the second thing you got to do, subscribe to the Discord. Again, this is for 2 tickets for the Canucks and Kings Monday, March 25th. We're giving them away in a few hours' time, so you don't got much time left to win 2 tickets to go see your Vancouver Canucks. And again, join the Discord. Be a part of the community, man. Talk to other Canuck fans while you're pooping. Okay? Let's go. Before we dive into things, gotta let you know this episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $200 if your bet wins. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. Speaking of getting started, we're getting started here on Locked On Canucks. Things are good. The Canucks are winning games decisively, in fact. So on today's episode, we want to give you an update on Thatcher Demko. We want to talk a bit more about Nikita Zadorov and specifically what contract would make sense for both him and the Vancouver Canucks. Because I think the assumption right now is that this guy ain't staying, okay? He ain't staying. And Kyle talked a bit about, enjoying Nikita Zadorov, being in the moment when he did his post-game show last night. But let's talk about what contract would potentially make sense for both sides and what the ramifications are if the Canucks are to do that. We'll also rank the D, baby, okay? Inch by inch, person by person, okay? We're going to rank that D for the Vancouver Canucks, all of the Canucks defensemen. And then maybe towards the end of the show, we'll read your comments and do a little pregame prophecy for Canucks and Ducks on Sunday. Woo! Before we get to all of that, let me introduce my co-host, the guy who is the sexiest guy in Surrey. Kyle Ballard, what's going on, buddy?
Wow, sexiest guy in Surrey, man. That's an accomplishment, man. Hey, speaking of accomplishments, again, you get a chance to win tickets to a Canucks game. Join the Discord, link in the bio. We'll be doing that announcement in 4.5 hours live on the Discord, okay? I was going to do it on YouTube, but we're not doing that, okay? We're doing it on Discord. An homage to this app that we're using that's, again, giving us that chemistry prior to a live show down the road. When we do it, we're going to do it right. $1.25 hot dogs being grilled up by Trevor Beggs. Inch by inch, okay? He loves those wieners. Anyways, Kyle Bound, again, doing the most, rambling. And now talking about some, I was going to say tragic. That's way too powerful, okay? I'm traumatic. I'm emotional when it comes to the Vancouver Canucks. We got some news from Elliot Friedman. We need some thunder playing in the background every time we mention this guy's name. The most evil guy to the West Coast, the best coast of Canada. Elliot Friedman telling us that he expects Demko to return with about a week and a half. A week and a half. You might as well just say a week, okay? Give it to us hard prior to the season ending. And to be honest, I'm a little scared, Trevor. Again, some people expected this, but I'm not going to front. When I heard the initial timeline, right, 2 to 4 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, I was really hoping that it was 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? And now what? We got to wait till right to the end of the season prior to when we play the Oilers again to see if this guy's going to be 100% okay prior to the playoffs. Again, I'm emotional. Am I being too worried right now?
Yeah, I think you are. When I look at the way the Canucks have played recently, and I know there was a bit of negativity in this market after 2 losses in a row, but again, with 3 days off in between games, losing back-to-back games felt more painful than it really was. The way the Canucks defense has played this month, for the most part, aside from about 2.5 periods of hockey, has been incredible. They allowed another 17 shots against last night against the Montreal Canadiens. DeSmith, would have had a shutout if it wasn't for that third period goal by Juraj Slafkovsky. The Canucks defense, again, for the most part this month, has looked better than it ever has. And I do think there's an extra ounce of motivation, if you will, in terms of this team, rallying together, playing smart, strong defensive hockey because they got their backup goalie in net, right? You don't got Demko in there saving your bacon, for lack of a better term. You have Casey DeSmith in there, who is good, not great, not a Vezina caliber goalie, but he's good. He's solid. And again, I think the Canucks in general, they have their defense there to, help DeSmith out a little bit. Okay. So I'm not worried about Thatcher Demko again. That, the announcement that he'll be back about a week and a half before the end of the regular season, that pretty much puts the injury on a month exact. So
yeah, and that's a lot of time, Trevor. Dude, you're way too calm. Okay, and I know.
2-1-1.
Okay,
2-1-1.
Dude,
come on, man.
Casey DeSmith is Casey DeSmith, and yes, the Vancouver Canucks know that Casey DeSmith is their goaltender right now, and they're playing structured. They're making a new definition of structured. Okay, this is music to my ears. Like the way that they're playing and the way that they're practicing, the way that they're fulfilling their mission. It's making me think that this team is going to take care of the Edmonton Oilers. Okay, this juggernaut on offense that the Oilers are spewing out game after game after game. They're gonna run into a brick wall, and that brick wall isn't just the goaltending; it's the structure. Okay, I get it; it's good practice, but again, I'm kind of like scared, dude. A huge piece of this puzzle obviously is Thatcher Demko, and now he's gonna be going into the playoffs, not playing for 4 weeks. Like it's. Goaltending is a momentous, right? That's a word, type of position in the world of sport. And the runway, not that long, man. Again, I'm a little worried, but maybe again, since Trevor relies on the D so much and the D so heavily, and he's so grateful for the D game in and game out, and night in and night out, that you just have the utmost faith that even if Demko's like 95% or not, quote unquote, feeling it, the Canucks are going to make his life a lot easier when he's in net.
Where are any of us without the D, Kyle? Seriously. Where are any of us without the D? We're nowhere. We're nowhere without the D, okay?
Yeah.
And the Canucks D is stiff right now, okay? They're doing their thing. It is stiff. That is some rock-hard defense that the Canucks are playing right now. In front of Casey DeSmith, I should say. So the Canucks D, they're getting it done, man. Don't worry about it, okay? And here's the other thing, too. You mentioned, goaltending be able to bet to us and blah, 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 blee, blee, blee. Thatcher Demko, when he was off for about 3.5 months last year, when he came back, he was playing the best hockey of the season. So I'm not incredibly worried about Demko coming back. The thing that would worry me is him rushing back from injury. So if the guy needs the rest, take it. This is why the Canucks are first overall in the Western Conference right now. And again, I think the race to first, it'd be nice to get first, but it doesn't really matter that much. Like it seems like you're going to play a good team regardless, right?
Trevor,
it's
man,
Vegas.
Come on. You're telling me the extra home game does not matter. Like you have an 8-point lead. You've been there the whole way
Canucks
through.
are losing home ice advantage. They'd have to lose almost every single game. They're not losing home ice advantage in round one.
So you're not scared of, but like, okay, the whole round one thing is cool, but I'm thinking deeper and longer, straight up deeper and longer. I don't care about the first round. I'm already looking around two, man. Let's get home ice in round 2 for sure. Oilers, 8 points behind, 3 games in hand, 1 game against the Canucks. You know what I'm saying? These games matter, man. They really matter. But again, on one note, you did say you're happy that the Canucks are not rushing Demko back. And, that's all you have to say, Trevor. You didn't have to go on a freaking math deciphering wizardry type of explanation talking about the defense and the D and DeSmith. Blah, just say, you know what? Who cares? The Canucks are up in the standings. Give this guy the full length of rest needed because when the playoffs start, guess who's getting 24 straight starts? Exactly.
Thatcher Demko, or Dem God, as some people call him. From the big D to the big Z, we're going to talk about Nikita Zadorov on the other side. Let's talk about what contract would potentially make sense for him and the Vancouver Canucks and the ramifications of doing so. And we'll see if we have time to rank that D as well. But before we do any of that, we got to shout out our friends over at Indeed. All right, no matter how the last game went, anytime you take the ice, you've got a shot at greatness. Give your team the best shot at winning by recruiting more MVPs with Indeed. If you're hiring, you need Indeed, because Indeed is the hiring partner where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place. Indeed is the only job site where you're guaranteed to find quality applications that meet your must-have job requirements, or else you don't pay. Instead of spending hours on multiple job sites hoping to find candidates with the right skills, you need one powerful hiring partner that can help you do it all. With Indeed Instant Match, as soon as you sponsor a post, you'll get a short list of quality candidates with resumes on Indeed that match your job description, and you can invite them to apply right away. Plus, get this, you only pay for quality applications that meet your must-have job requirements. One of the things I love about Indeed is that they make everything so easy, okay? Break out the staples that was easy button, baby. I'm whipping it out for this ad read. Oh, that was easy. Indeed makes it easy to hire great talent. According to ComScore, Indeed is the #1 job site worldwide. Join more than 3 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. Start hiring right now with a $75 sponsored job credit to upgrade your job post at Indeed.com/lockedon. Offer valid through March 31st. Go to Indeed.com/lockedon to claim your $75 credit before March 31st. Indeed.com/lockedon. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
Man, we're going to have a lot of fun tonight in Vancouver, all my real fans.
People, we back talking about your Canucks here on Locked On Canucks. One love to the Locked On Podcast Network, right? Instilling that your team every day culture, aka your Canucks every day. And also one love to the Don't Those Art Lab for making this possible, okay? The West Coast bias, taking care of your neighbors. You got to practice that ish, okay? If you're listening to this straight up and see your world change. Again, take care of your neighbors. One love to the Don't Those Art Lab. Sign up for the Discord. Link in the bio. Boom, bam. In a couple hours, you may win Canuck tickets to that game against the Kings. Wow. And if you go to that game, you may see, and this is crazy for me to say, so crazy. It's easier for me to make the statement when, Quinn Hughes is Quinn Hughes. But, man, oh, man, you may be sitting in seats and watching one of the best 5 decors in hockey play for your team. Because if Zadorov continues to play like this and Carson Soucy is as strong as he is, again, we're talking about the floor raising being one thing. I'm talking about the ceiling getting higher, for real.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's why going through defenseman power rankings is kind of fascinating, to be honest, because there's been ebbs and flows, right? Like you said, the kid Zadorov, he's been so strong over the past month or so. After, I'd say, a somewhat quiet start. Again, some loud physical plays, but a lot of mistakes in there as well. And to be honest, he still has his mistakes. Like last night, he had a brutal turnover, throwing the puck right up the middle that, nothing happened because Montreal was offside. But, he has those moments in his game that are so bombastic, so all over the place. But like you said, Kyle, you got Zadorov clicking, Soucy looking like a top 4 guy. Ian Cole's been rock solid all year. You get more to Myers, more to Juleson. Yeah, maybe that's an episode for another day. Is where does this D-core rank among the best in the NHL? Because top 5, that sounds about right to me.
Well, okay, so in my opinion, Ian Cole and Filip Hronek, they got to level up here. They got more to give. And, it's very rare that all those things happen at the same time. Like, we're talking about 6 to 7 pieces just firing on all cylinders. But you can only imagine how much better this team would be if that was the case. There is some dips, just a bit of dips in their play. Anyways, I'm curious to hear your rankings with these guys. I'll go first though, because I'm a Hindu. What?
You're older and better looking. That's what it is.
Hey, I'm an elder, man. I'm an elder Hindu. Straight up, man. Respect your elders. Okay. Let's go through the rankings. Number 1, obviously Quinn Hughes. Number 2, it's Zadorov or Filip Hronek. Obviously, it's Filip Hronek, man. Can you guys leave Filip Hronek alone? Bro, again, Trevor, I mentioned this yesterday. Look at what's happened over the last 12 months. A lot of changes in leadership, a lot of changes within the floor of this team. The depth pieces on this team looking a lot different, okay? The professional scouting, firing on all cylinders. Speaking of which, again, look at the last 12 months. The face of the change is Filip Hronek. It is him. Again, Filip Hronek is obviously the second best defenseman on this team and en route to be the second best defenseman in team history. You best believe it if we want all of our dreams to come true. Number 3, Carson Soucy. Number 4, Nikita Zadorov. Okay? For real. I think there's a lot to this guy playing super well right now. I think he has a lot to play for. I think he wants to be one of the faces of hockey, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wants to be known to be more than a number 5 defenseman. And I think he wants to prove it. And here's an outlet for him to do so. And right now he's feeling himself. And he has the intangibles. And he's a bit of an outlier. And yeah, he can be a little chaotic, a little Tyler Myers-esque. But what if he's not? What if Adam Foote is in his ear? What if he can get a whole lot better? Again, Zadorov is easily the 4th best defenseman if all those things are happening for your Vancouver Canucks. In fact, he's taking his game to a level that nobody saw coming, for real. Anyways, number 5, Ian Cole. Number 6, it's Noah Juulsen, man. It's Noah Juulsen. Tyler Myers, game in and game out, he's definitely raised his floor, and he's not as chaotic as he was early on in the season, but there's too many penalties, man. It's too many penalties. It's just being slightly out of position, and Noah Juulsen has that ability to be a decent penalty killer, if not a good penalty killer, and also just lay the body more consistently, man. You know what I'm saying? Noah Juulsen in a playoff series from Surrey, born in Surrey, raised in Abbotsford, playing for your Vancouver Canucks. I kind of want to see that.
Yeah, it's a hell of a story, man, and I'm sure he's going to get in at some point, whether it's hopefully not injury related, but performance related. I think Noah Juulsen has earned the opportunity to play playoff games for your Vancouver Canucks. All right. I'm going to rank the D here. Okay, all seven inches of the defense here. Okay, number 1, Quinn Hughes. Number 2, yeah, it's Filip Hronek. Again, a lot of hate for this guy recently. It hasn't been perfect, but my little joke off the top about keeping Zadorov and trading Hronek. Yeah, no, I'm good. I've seen that talk online though, man. It's out there. But I do have Filip Hronek as the second best defenseman on the Vancouver Canucks. At number 3, though, I am gonna go Nikita Zadorov because you know what? There isn't the same consistency as a Carson Soucy or an Ian Cole. But the highs that Nikita Zadorov has, I'm riding that high right now, okay? It's 420 somewhere. I'm riding that Nikita Zadorov high, the Big C Kush train. Nikita Zadorov, again, when he's on, you see him scoring goals. You see him hitting. You see him being physical.
Standing up for his teammates.
Standing up for his teammates, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think motivating the boys is a big part of it. I don't know if that really can be included in a ranking based on how they're playing on the ice. But, by all accounts, he's a big part of that team. And I know there's an article from Daniel Wagner recently that talked about the most fun guys in the room, the guys that are, kind of the most vocal in terms of getting the boys going. And the gist from talking to guys in the room was it's Miller, Garland, and Zadorov, which is saying something for a guy that just came in from another city.
Ooh,
but Nikita Zadorov comes with the highs and lows, but overall, especially the way he's playing right now, I have him as the 3rd best defenseman on the Vancouver Canucks. Number 4 is a toss-up, but I am going to go with Ian Cole. I think his play has definitely slipped in the latter half of the season. He's definitely quieter than Soucy, Myers, and Juulsen on a lot of nights, but he's going up against top competition on a nightly basis. He's holding down the fort no matter who his partner is, and it has been a revolving door. I'm not sure if he'll kind of stay as a top 4 guy come playoff time, but that's just the way he's been utilized. And you got to give him credit for being a solid hockey player and, being a top penalty killer as well. Number 5, I'm going Carson Soucy. Number 6, I am going Tyler Myers over Noah Juulsen. Not the popular answer. I wanted to do it for the Surrey boy. As good as Noah Juulsen's been, I do see some mistakes in this game that, Tyler Myers has mistakes too. He's kind of chaotic, but he does have a bit more of a steadying veteran presence compared to what Noah Juulsen brings. But that one's honestly a toss-up. And if it came down to resigning Myers at, a couple million in the offseason versus just having Noah Juulsen on your 6th pair, I think keeping Noah Juulsen on your 6th pair as your 6D, I think keeping Noah Juulsen is the no-brainer. So Bagsy's list: Hughes, Hronek, Zadorov, Cole, Soucy, Myers, and Juulsen. Kyle, what do you have? You had Hughes, Hronek, Soucy, Zadorov, Myers? Cole, Juulsen, Myers. Yeah.
Trevor, do you listen to me? Are we supposed to be friends or what? Are you listening to me, man?
Short-term memory loss.
Come on, man. I thought you were a real friend. Anyways, Kyle Bound, Trevor Beggs talking all things D with your Vancouver Canucks. And again, delusional maybe, because look at what we're saying, man. March the 22nd, talking about Noah Juleson being great. Nikita Zadorov being great. Carson Soucy being great. We got some people saying, yo, save the money by paying for Zadorov and not Filip Hronek. Like, yo, what's going on right now? Again, look at I just saw a comment too. I know we got to get to break, but I saw a comment here talking about how there you go, Bob. Shout out to Bob, okay? If the Canucks don't sign Hronek, it's because they feel like they can plop Tanev in with Hughes next season, okay? But it's like, dude, how old is Chris Tanev and how old is Filip Hronek? And dude, we've never been spoiled by good defensemen, and I feel like Filip Hronek is pretty damn good. Like, he's like Alex Edler already. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Like, production, all that stuff, just doing his thing, being solid. And we're like, you know what? Let's get rid of this guy. Now, I know people are associating this $8 million price tag with him, blah, blah, blah. But just keep in mind, okay? A lot of us out here in the West Coast, the best coast, when we throw out numbers, including Elliot Friedman, we've been wrong a lot of times, okay? You get what I'm saying? The dollar amount usually comes in at a lesser amount. Think about it. Do all the research. Go to Pedersen. Boom, bam. Relax. Keep Filip Hronek. Dude, come on, man. A big reason why Quinn Hughes is Quinn Hughes this season is because of Filip Hronek. It's just the truth.
Yeah. No, Hronek deserves a lot of credit, and I think he's, there's always going to be someone in this fan base who's drawn some criticism, and Hronek's that guy right now with the turnovers and whatnot. I did want to mention one thing quick before we get to break, talk a little Zadorov contract and comments on the other side.
Okay.
I wanted to bring up the Canucks D ranked by the stats, okay? So I'm looking at game score here on hockeystatcards.com, and here's how they would rank the Canucks defense this season. Colin, this might be saying that you're smarter than me, but they are going Hughes 1, Hronek 2, and Soucy number 3. So same top 3 as you. Then it goes Tyler Myers 4, Ian Cole 5, Zadorov 6, and Noah Juleson 7. So again, Zadorov not getting a lot of love in the fancy stats, which makes sense. He has some softer competition, some nights where he's not controlling possession as much. So they're making me look kind of dumb for saying he's the third best Canucks defenseman on the Canucks. Again, the nerd over here, Beggsy. I think I'm more off of the stats than you are here.
You know what? You just made I think what's happening here, and you can be honest with the people, bro. You're just a fan, bro. You were wrong. You're wrong about Zadorov. You traded this guy for a conditional 7th round pick in cap space a month ago. And now you're afraid, of getting beat up by him. Saturday night, you're going to the game. You're reporting on the game. You're going to be in the same room as this guy. This guy seems like a social guy. Bro, you're scared of being headlocked, okay? Admit it.
Yeah, you know what? I don't live my life with a lot of fear, but I do want to see a Canucks Cup win before I die. So I'd be a little scared of dying for sure. More about me saying my obituary on the other side. Let's shout out our friends over at FanDuel before we wrap up the show. All right, it's that time of year, okay? Say goodbye to busted brackets because FanDuel lets you bet on every game of the tourney. Whether you're betting on a big upset or a 1 seed, it's time to go dancing on America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins, okay? And that's, I lost it. Where'd I go? That's $200 if to use on point spreads, money lines, and you can even pick who's going to win it all, okay? And if you're into betting on, the Stanley Cup odds, our friends over at FanDuel, they've been sliding the Canucks all year long, okay? And let me pull it up right now. Let's see where the Canucks rank. They in the top 6. The Canucks still have the 10th best Cup odds on FanDuel. It's going down. It's plus 1,500 now. It was plus 1,800 last time I checked. But again, the Canucks with the 10th best Cup odds. FanDuel disrespecting the Canucks, but maybe they're trying to make you money because, again, FanDuel, they're our friend, man, and they want you to be successful. So whether you're betting on basketball, hockey, whatever it is, make sure you go to FanDuel.com/lockedon and bet on college hoops and everything else until they cut down the nets.
People, we back doing this, talking about your Vancouver Canucks and your comments, okay? It's the end of the show. We got to save the best for last, and y'all be yapping. Y'all be talking a lot. Speaking of which, you guys are talking a lot in the Discord as well. Yeah, we're trying to grow that community. We're trying to grow that live event culture, okay? And it starts in the Discord. And if you join the Discord, boom, bam, you just enter a chance to win what? 2 Canucks tickets on Monday, okay? For real. They're playing the Kings. I'll give you the tickets. We're going to announce the winner in 4 hours. And all you have to do is, again, join the Discord. Link in the bio. Man, oh man, JS, man. Speaking of JS, okay, first of all, thanks for the super chat. Go Canucks go. Always dropping Go Canucks go. This guy also messaged me on the Discord and told me that he wants to be disqualified from the contest because he's already going to the game. What a generous dude. What a generous dude. Didn't have to do that. By the way, if you win the tickets, you have to go to the game. You can't sell the tickets. You have to go to the game. It's karma. No, straight up. Listen to this. It's karma, dude. Right? No, it is. It's the truth. It's the truth, man. Support the boys. Support the boys in blue and green. Put that energy in the building. That cup or bust energy. Go to the game. Look at this comment, okay? This is a big one. This is a full circle moment right here. It comes from Infamous, okay? Before the season started, I vowed not to miss any Canucks games this year. I picked a good year to focus on hockey again. Bro, you and I both, man. 12 months ago, based on where the Canucks were in the standings and in my life, there was no chance I was going to commit to this. But Trevor Beggs calls me, crying, being emotional, demanding that I become a hockey podcaster with him once again, making me into a addict of the Vancouver Canucks. And at the time, I was kind of frowning upon it because I had books to write. But Trevor, you've never asked me anything in life, or you never asked me to do anything in life, and I owe you a lot. So again, I'm happy that I made the commitment to you because, like Infamous, I'm not missing no Canucks games anymore, and my life feels normal again.
Yeah, and thank God the Canucks are good, man. You might be kicking me in the balls every time we hung out if the Canucks sucked again, man, and I dragged you through this. But thankfully, the Canucks are good, so it's all good. Okay. One of the things I did want to mention before we wrap up the show is Nikita Zadorov and the contract that would potentially make sense for both him and the Vancouver Canucks. Again, reports from Dollywall and others out there that I've read, Zadorov's looking for 5 years, maybe even 6 years, and $5 million plus. That's got to be way too rich for the Canucks blood. I think if the Canucks were to re-sign him, Kyle, tell me what you think about this, and whether you're watch it on YouTube, listen on podcasts, connect with us on Twitter, wherever else. I'm curious on your thoughts on this. Nikita Zadorov resigns with the Canucks on a 4-year deal at $4.5 million per season. Fair contract?
So $18 million over 4 years. Damn. I would do it. You know why I would do it? Because Tyler Myers is not coming back. Real talk. And if he's coming back at a lot less than $6 million. Again, Hronek, that number, that $8 million number that everyone's talking about, I think it's fake news. I really do. Fake news. That's the truth. I think that number is lower. And bro, the Canucks have gone through a lot of changes, and obviously the biggest change has been them becoming a winning team. I think the last thing this team kind of wants to do is keep having to bring in such big pieces to the professional side of things, right? Straight up. Like, they've already overhauled this defense once. And you have Ian Cole, Nikita Zadorov, and Tyler Myers all coming off the books. Like, yo, you need to bring pieces back. And again, based on how Zadorov is playing right now, if you're able to get this type of production and this type of swagger from him, and him being that much of an outlier as well, there's something there. He's definitely making it harder and harder for Rutherford and Alvin just to be content with letting him go and looking at this guy as just a rental type of piece.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that Zadorov would probably turn down that contract, but at least it's food for thought, I think, for both sides in terms of something that could work. He's going to have to leave money on the table if he wants to stay in Vancouver.
Bro, Trevor, do you think it's possible Adam Foote can make him better? Like, what if Nikita Zadorov and his characteristics coincide with also having a Adam Foote / Rick Tocchet like offseason plan, and then just a training camp with Adam Foote as well? Because it's pretty clear that Adam Foote is huge to this puzzle, straight up. And it's also not surprising because we're talking about another member of that championship club that's now running shit. I was about to swear there, in Vancouver. You get what I'm saying? He's one of the best of all time.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that Adam Foote impact could be just being seen with Zadorov right now, right? Because he was slow over the first couple of, maybe the first month or two here in Vancouver, and he's been much better of late. So I think that Adam Foote the Adam Foote effect could be already taking place. And again, look at Noah Juleson, look at Tyler Myers, look at Carson Soucy. Like all of these guys have had amazing seasons. I think Philip Hronek might be one of the only outliers of guys who have trended downwards. But, so much of this Canucks defense is trending in the right direction. And again, Zadorov was the last guy to get here. So I do think that could have an impact as well. Just quickly, when I talk about Zadorov and the contract, I did do some cap projections for the Canucks, and maybe we'll dive into this more in another episode. But again, cap's projected to be $87.7 million for next year. I did do some projections. I did have them re-signing Teddy Blueger at 2.6, Dakota Joshua at 3.9. And again, I'm talking million per season. Philip Hronek, I had him coming back at 7.45. With Podkolzin closing $1 million. With those things in place, the Canucks would have 18 players on their roster and about $11 million in cap space to work with. So you re-sign Zadorov at $4.5 million per season. You got about $7 million left to carve out the rest of your roster. And I would say that you need probably another top 6 winger is probably the biggest priority. So anyways, let's touch on that on another
when was the last time you wrote your wife a card or a letter and you did all that work, dude?
Valentine's Day, buddy. Come on.
The off season, man. Come
on,
man. Okay, last comment. Elston Gunn. What do you think about a Joshua, Elias Pettersson, Connor Garland line? Yo, what do you think about a Joshua, Teddy Blueger, Connor Garland line? Close your eyes. Think about that question. And doesn't it feel safe? Why does everyone want to move everything around, dude? You know what I'm saying? If it's not broken, don't fix it. It's all good. And it was only fitting that Connor Garland retrieved a pass from Teddy Blueger in the neutral zone to score that goal, okay? Because, bro, I'm telling you, those guys have to be together. Anyways, my name's Kyle Bowen. That right there is Trevor Beggs. Hey, speaking of coming together, dude, come together and join the Discord and enter for a chance to win 2 Canucks tickets, okay? We're going to announce the winner to those tickets to the 25th, right, of March, that game against the Kings, in about 4 hours, bro, on the Discord, live on the Discord. Hit the link in the bio. And just overall, even if you don't win, you get to join a movement, okay? Again, those live shows that we throw, $1.25 hot dogs. Where have you seen that? Nowhere. Anyways, Beggsy, sign us out.
And remember, if you're signing the contest, you got to join the Discord and either subscribe to the YouTube channel or leave us a 5-star review. Kyle and I will be digging through it, man, making sure that's all happened. Because we want to be giving the tickets to the people who enter the contest properly, baby. Okay, that's it for the show. Shout out to the everydayers, occasional listeners, first-time listeners, new subscribers, those of you who join us on the live YouTube show, those of you listening through audio, wherever you're listening to us, however you're listening to us, we love you, and we're nothing without you listening. Okay, Canucks and Ducks play on Sunday. That's a game that the Canucks should win. I'm going to say 5-1 Canucks. Let's go, baby. Okay. And then we got you next week with Goats of the Week, this drive to the playoffs, so much and more. Again, tickets will be given out. Join us on Discord around 5 p.m. tonight. But for now, I'm Trevor Beggs. That guy's Kyle Bowen. And you've been listening to Locked On Canucks.
One love. Take care of your neighbors. Peace.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks.